Alright, welcome to today's lecture on the use of English series for JAMB UTME, episode 3. Remember that this series is a series that is focally designed for JAMB UTME exams. And today's topic is verbs, their forms, and principles. Let's quickly look at the outlines of today's lecture. And before we do that, do not forget to maximize your screen for the best experience by tapping on the icon around here. It's usually around here. Okay, maximize your screen or put your screen on landscape. Let's go. The outlines of today's lecture is definition, identification, and features of verbs, principles of verb usage in a sentence, the gerunds / verbs without continuous, practice exercises from WAEC and JAMB / answers. A quick recap. You will learn the above in this lecture, and I wish you a good luck as we progress. Verb. A word which expresses the action is a verb. For example, John slapped Mary, like John gave Mary a hard slap. You can see the word that's bold here. Slapped, that's the verb. It shows action. It shows action. Verb. Slapped, that's fire slap. A verb. It shows action. Something happened. Slapped Mary. John slapped Mary. Action. Whisked is successful. Whisked is successful. Is the verb because is showing action. Is showing that whisked is successful. Is showing that whisked is successful. That something happened. Whisked just got successful. Verbs show occurrence. Moving on. Basic features of verbs. How do we recognize words that are verb? You should be asking yourself that question at the moment. The answer to that is verbs basically have tenses. Do well to take my lecture on English tenses if you haven't. For example, present tense. Under the present tenses of verb, she writes every day. Present tense form is the right. You can see the arrow pointing at the right, okay? This is the present tense form of verb. It carries S, writes. It carries S or goes with S or ends in S. That's the present tense form of verb, okay? The past tense form of verb, okay? She wrote a letter yesterday. That's the past tense form of verb. Wrote is the what? Is the past tense form of verb or the past form of the verb write, okay? Past participle or participle. I prefer the written form. You can see written is underlined and written is obviously the past participle form, okay? So how do we know verb? How do we recognize verb? Basically, they have these three properties, okay? This property, they have present tense, they have past tense, okay? And they also have past participle. Moving on to the next. Types of sentence. There are many types of sentences. The first one here is the one containing the subject and the verb, which is the sun shines. Subject here before the verb, then verb. This is the verb here. So the sun is the subject. The sun is the subject. Okay, another example. Some sentence contains subject, verb, and object. For example, the lorry destroyed the gate. The lorry destroyed the gate. What's the subject? The subject is the, okay? Lorry, the lorry destroyed the gate. The lorry destroyed the gate. This is the verb, destroyed. Shows occurrence, that something happened, okay? This showed that something happens, okay? Something just happened. Destroyed the gate. The gate is the object. Remember, the subject is before the verb on the left-hand side, while the object is after the verb on the right-hand side. Continued. Some sentence contain subject, verb, and adverb. For example, Davido is here. Davido is here. What is the subject? Davido. The verb is, and the adverb is here. Moving on. Some contains a subject, a verb, and a complement. For example, the lorry is solid. Complement is more like an adverb, okay? A type of adverb, a complementary adverb. The is the subject, lorry is a noun, is the verb, and solid is the complement. Moving on. Forms of verbs. Just as nouns have singular and plural forms, verbs also have singular and plural forms. Plural forms of nouns ends in s, es, or ies. For example, shares, fishes, ladies, and so on and so forth. Singular form of verbs end in s, es, ies. For example, hits, does, tries, and so on and so forth. So what you have to know here is the singular forms of noun is the opposite of the singular form of verb. Okay, so if the singular form of noun does not carry s, es, and ies, meaning the singular form of verb will carry es, ies, and s. Okay, so it's vice versa, it's opposite. Just bear in mind that the opposite, when talking about singular and plural verb, the opposite of noun pattern, that's the verb pattern. Okay, moving on. Forms of verb continued. Singular nouns is to the left side of the table, while plural nouns is to the right side of the table. Let's look at examples of singular nouns. Boy, okay, church, singular, lady, singular. Then let's look at singular verbs. Talks, touches, tries. You can see the contrasting difference. This is opposite of this. Singular nouns do not carry s, es, or ies, but singular verb carries s, es, and ies. Let's go to the right hand side of the table. Plural nouns. Okay, what are the plural nouns? Examples include boys carrying s, churches carrying es, ladies carrying ies. Let's look at the examples of plural verb. Remember, we said it's directly opposite to the pattern of noun. You can see it. Talk, touch, try. Can you see? It does not have s, es, or ies. That's that for that. Moving on. The gerund. When a word takes ing, you can see ing is underlined. Okay, when a word takes the ing form, it may be a verb showing the present continuous tense. You know, ing is a continuous tense. Okay, word having ing or ending in ing is a continuous tense. If you have not taken my lecture on tenses, please do well to look for the video and take the lecture. Okay, they are showing present continuous tense or a gerund functioning as a noun. Okay, when you see any word that ends in ing, it's either showing a present continuous tense or a gerund functioning as a noun. For example, I am writing a book. What is the verb? Writing. And this is a present continuous. Let's look at the function. Verb showing present continuous tense. Okay, that's what the function of this verb right here is, working as a present continuous tense. I am writing a book. I am writing a book. So it shows that the writing is going on, is ongoing. Okay, let's look at the second. Writing a book is difficult. This is a gerund. Okay, this is a gerund, but it is what? It is serving as a noun, or is acting as a noun here, because it's the start or is the beginning of a sentence. When you have a gerund in the beginning of a sentence, it's functioning as a noun. When you have a present continuous verb in the beginning of a sentence, it functions as a noun. So let's look at what we have in the bracket. Gerund, acting as a noun. All right, let's move forward. Gerunds continued. Gerunds are nouns. Take note. Gerunds are nouns. They are verb. They look like verb, but they are nouns. Okay, they are also regarded as nouns. Thus, they take possessive adjectives as nouns do. Please see my slides or take my lectures on nouns if you haven't. In other words, when there is an open space before a gerund, the space should be filled by a possessive adjective. Check out my adjective lecture if you haven't. Okay, let's see example next. Like I said earlier, gerunds are nouns and they should take possessive adjective as nouns too. So when there is a space before a gerund, okay, the space should be filled with a possessive adjective. Let's look at the examples. First, I don't like him looking at me like that. I don't like him looking at me like that. This is one of the mistakes or the grammatical mistakes many Nigerians make. So it's very common in JAMB UTME. Questions relating to this topic, gerund, is very common in JAMB UTME, especially from the 2000s. Let's continue. I don't like him looking at me like that. That's wrong. Remember we said when there is a space before the gerund, the space should be filled with what? A possessive adjective. Is this a possessive adjective? Is him a possessive adjective? No, it is not possessive. That's an indefinite pronoun. Let's look at the next. I don't like his looking at me like that. Correct. Because before the gerund, we have a possessive adjective, which is his. So do not say, I don't like him looking at me like that. I don't like her looking at me like that. I don't like you looking at me like that. No. Instead, say, I don't like his looking at me like that. I don't like their looking at me like that. Not them looking at me like that. I don't like their looking at me like that. And so on and so forth. Let's move on. He doesn't like our playing in the field. Correct. Possessive adjective before the gerund. Our, not us. He doesn't like us playing in the field. Wrong. This is not a possessive adjective. This is an indefinite pronoun. Hence, cashing a code upsets our plans. Correct. Hence is a possessive adjective. Before the gerund, put possessive adjective and not indefinite pronoun. Okay. The last one, him cashing a code upsets our plan. You can see they are using indefinite pronoun here, which is wrong. Always put possessive adjective. Moving on. Verbs without continuous. Verbs without continuous. The verbs showing the 5 senses of humans do not take the continuous tense or ing form. Do not use ing form for verbs that is showing the 5 senses of humans. And what are the 5 senses of humans? 1 is feel, 2nd is taste, 3rd is smell, 4th is see, and 5th is hear. Apart from these 5, there are other verbs of the mind which do not take the continuous tense. And I'm going to show you those examples as we go. I'm going to show you the examples. Let's see the next slide for the examples. An important note, please. The verb may be used as gerund, which is the ing form, continuous form, gerund, or as participles, which is also ing forms, or even idioms, which is also ing form. So this is trying to explain that sometimes you can see some forms that is an exception to this rule, or some sentences that are exception to this rule. Just know that it is either a participle or it is an idiomatic expression. Okay, I will explain better as we progress. So care should therefore be taken when they are used. Let's see example next. Examples. Here, I am not hearing you. Does it deal with the 5 senses of man? Remember the 5 senses we listed? Hearing is part of it. So you don't use ing form to express the 5 senses of man, making this word wrong. Present continuous tense is wrong. So the way to say it is I can't hear you. Correct. Simple present continuous tense. You can also say I can hear you. It's not I am hearing you. I am hearing you is wrong. Okay, because it involves the 5 senses of man. Do not use continuous. They are the verbs without continuous, or verbs that do not take the continuous form. Verbs involving the 5 senses of man. Let's look at the next. Hearing you is difficult. That's a gerund functioning as a noun. Remember, I earlier said that during our discussion that when you have a gerund as the beginning of a sentence, that it's functioning as a noun. So in this case, it's correct. So it's an exception to the rule. Gerund functioning as a noun and participle. Let's look at the next. On hearing the news, he collapsed. On hearing the news, he collapsed. That's a participle. On hearing here is acting as a participle because it's on the subject position. Okay, it's on the subject position. Just know that when you have it on the subject position, it's acting as either a gerund or a participle, which deems it correct, an exception to the rule. Let's look at the next example. The court is hearing the case this afternoon. The court is hearing the case this afternoon. This is an idiomatic expression. Okay, it means the court is trying the case or is trying the person. Okay, the court is hearing the case. The case is being judged in court. The court is hearing the case this afternoon. Moving on. Remember the 3 exceptions we talked about that does not obey the rule of the 5 senses of man? when a gerund is functioning as a noun, and participles. Okay, for participles, number 2 and number 3, idiomatic expression. Do not forget that. Okay, so continued. He is within hearing distance. Is it correct? Yes, because hearing here is acting as a participle. See, I am seeing you, which is wrong. Why is it wrong? Because it's a present continuous tense. See is part of the 5 senses of man. Okay, I can see you is correct. Why? Because it's a simple present continuous, and you remember we say instead of saying seeing, you can use can. Okay, I can see you, correct. I can't see you is also correct. Let's look at this example. Seeing is believing. Seeing is believing. Here, the gerund is functioning as the noun. Remember, it's serving as the subject of the sentence, which deems it correct. Okay, the next, on seeing the snake, he ran away. On seeing the snake, he ran away. Seeing is functioning as participle, so it's correct. Let's move on to the next. They are seeing each other. This is an idiomatic expression, which means dating. So when you say a boy and a girl, or a man and a woman are seeing each other, just know that they are dating. That's what it means. It's an idiomatic expression or an idiom. Let's look at the next. I am seeing my doctor this afternoon. It's also an idiomatic expression. Seeing here is acting as idiomatic expression because it means that you are meeting your doctor this afternoon. Smell. I smell something. Remember, smell is also part of the 5 senses of man. Okay. I am smelling something. Is it correct or wrong? It is wrong because it's a present continuous. Okay, and there's no such idiom. I smell something is correct. Instead, say I smell something. The next, they are seeing each other. They are seeing each other. This is also an idiomatic expression, as stated before. I am seeing my doctor this afternoon. As stated before, this is correct. It means what? Meeting. It's an idiomatic expression meaning meeting. Let's move over to the next. Smell. I am smelling something is wrong. The proper way to say it is I smell something, which is correct. Feel. I am feeling pain, which is wrong. I feel pain is the proper way to say it. It involves the 5 senses of man, and this is not an idiomatic expression. Neither is feeling acting as a gerund here, and neither is feeling acting as a participle here. So it's wrong. So you should say I feel pain. Taste, also part of the 5 senses of man. I am tasting the soup. Wrong. A common mistake made by many Nigerians. Okay, so you have learned that that's a mistake or that's a wrong expression. So instead say I'm checking the taste of the soup, which is correct. I can taste the soup is also correct. Believe. I am believing you is wrong. These are part of the other verbs that involves the mind, that does not take the continuous. I am believing you. This one is not part of the 5 senses of human, but this one are part of the verbs of the mind that does not take the continuous. I am believing you is wrong, but I believe you is correct. That's the proper way to say it. I believe you. Let's move on. Want. I am wanting to come. That's wrong. The proper way to say it is I want to come. That's correct. Notice. He is noticing your response. That's wrong. The better way or the proper way to say it is he noticed your presence. Correct. Remember, all these I'm listing now, these subsequent ones I'm listing now are the verbs of the mind. They are not part of the 5 senses of man, but all these ones I'm listing now should not carry the continuous form. Remember, I am remembering it. A common mistake made by many Nigerians is wrong. The proper way to say it is I remember it, which is correct. Recollect. I am recollecting that you came, which is wrong. The proper way to say it is I recollect that you came, making it correct. Wish. I am wishing you good luck, which is wrong. It's also part of the verb of the mind. I wish you good luck, which is correct. Forget. I am not forgetting it, which is wrong. I will not forget it. Correct. Know. I am knowing the answer, which is wrong. I know the answer, which is correct. Love. I am loving the show. Wrong. This is another common mistake made by Nigerians. I am loving the show. Wrong. I am loving you. Wrong. I am loving it every day. Wrong. I'm loving what I am seeing. Or I'm loving what I see. Wrong. I love the show. Correct. I love what I see. Correct. So these verbs that I've been listing are the verbs of the mind, and they shouldn't take continuous. They are not part of the 5 senses of man, but they are the verbs of the mind and should not take continuous. Moving on. Understand. It's also part of it, the verb of the mind. I am not understanding you is wrong. I don't understand you, or I do not understand you is correct. Desire. I am desiring it. Wrong. I desire it. Correct. Possess. I am possessing it. Wrong. I possess it. Correct. JAMB keep repeating questions from this topic, verb without continuous. It is a bonus if you understand this topic very well. Verb without continuous is a bonus question for you. At least you are going to see 2-3 questions from this topic in your JAMB UTME 2026. Okay, let's look at the next. Possess. I am possessing it. Wrong. I possess it. Correct. Like. I am liking her very much. That's wrong. I like her very much. That's correct. Deserve. I am deserving it. That's wrong. I deserve it. That's correct. So let's move on. Our exercise was brought from JAMB UTME 2001. The instruction says pick the most appropriate alternative. Okay, let's look at the first. 1. The teacher dislikes dash coming late to school. The teacher dislikes dash coming late to school. A. Them. B. We. C. Us. D. Their. The teacher dislikes dash coming late to school. What's your answer? The answer is D. Their. The teacher dislikes their coming late to school. Number 2. I prefer dash playing at home. I prefer dash playing at home. A. You. B. You are. C. Yourself. D. Your. I prefer dash playing at home. What's your answer? You answered right. The answer is D. Your. I prefer your playing at home. Number 3. Speak louder. We dash you. Speak louder. We dash you. A. Can't hear. B. Are not hearing. C. Are hearing. D. Can hear. Speak louder. We dash you. What's your answer? You answered right. The answer is A. Can't hear. Speak louder. We can't hear you. These are the answers. What did you score? Alright, moving on. A quick recap. Verb is a word which expresses action. Do not forget, identification of verb involves any word that has present and past tense. Any word that have present tense and past tense is a verb. Verbs can be classified as regular and irregular. Okay? Verbs have singular and plural forms, just like nouns. Do not forget that. Gerunds are the form of verb ending in ing. They are regarded as nouns. Thus, they take possessive adjective as nouns, though. These made up about 50% from this statement here, made up about 50% of our exercises that we just answered. Hope you understood. Thank you so much for taking this lecture. Do well to subscribe and follow for more at Nkwado Augustine across all social media platforms. Drop your questions on the comment section and I will do justice to your questions. Do you have any knowledge gap? Drop it on the comment section. At this point, I'm out.